Good morning. Welcome to First Parish Church in Billerica, a Unitarian Universalist welcoming congregation. Whoever you are and wherever you are on life's journey, you're welcome here this morning. And we hope you'll stay after the service for coffee and conversation in the parish hall right under this sanctuary. My name is Brita. I'm going to be the worship assistant for today's service. And our worship leader this morning is Laura Evonne Steinman. She is an educator, activist, and community artist. She's worked as a director of religious education for a number of years. And now she is teaching art at the Stetson School in Bear. She is a wonderfully creative person. We've had her lead services for us before, and we are just very, very happy to have her with us here this morning. Actually, let me just do one other thing before the announcements. Let's acknowledge that First Parish Church was built on the unceded land of the Pawtucket and Massachusetts people. We acknowledge the connection that they have continued to maintain with the land here in this place that we call Billerica. And we recognize the hardships they have endured and commit ourselves to caring for the land and fostering good relationships with our Indigenous neighbors. Are there any announcements? And Jim, can you give the mic? Okay.
Okay, next Saturday, the library is actually having a very special day in recognition of Indigenous Peoples Day. They will have artifacts and actual people from Lowell that are Indigenous that will be talking about their history. They'll also have a lot of stuff to show. At 3 o'clock, we are going to have a drumming circle here with Chief, what's his name?
I'm
not sure his name, but it's from the Greater Lowell. From the Greater Lowell, yeah. But yeah, it sounds like a really cool time to do the drumming. I think, no, that's the 8th on Saturday, next Saturday. Yeah, dancing, whatever moves you actually, I think is what goes on with that. We have lunch, free lunch from 11 to 1 that same day. And then St. Anne's is going to end the evening with a screening of Our Spirits Don't Speak English, about the Indian boarding schools. And that's at St. Anne's Episcopal in North Billerica. Okay. It's the hosting free lunch that we always do. We're going to do it at 11:30. Okay. And then on the 15th, which is the following Saturday evening, we're going to be showing Hocus Pocus. The first one, we don't have rights to show the second one, but we'll be doing it downstairs. You can come in costume. We'll have popcorn and just a fun time of showing Hocus Pocus, but it also follows the Billerica Recreation Department is having a trunk or treat that afternoon. So you could go to the trunk or treat in the afternoon for the rec department and then come on over here and watch Hocus Pocus and have a fun little Halloween Saturday.
Any other announcements? Barbara.
So just a quick RE announcement this morning. Lisa Jameson is stuck in Florida. She was supposed to be leaving yesterday, and as we all know, there was a hurricane there, and she couldn't get a flight out. So she won't be here this Sunday. She may be here. She will be here next week. She's hoping to get out sometime this week. The major concern is she safe? And yes, she is. She's been texting me that she's fine and in a safe place. And Joyce, as many of you know, is recovering from COVID. She is feeling fine. but just out of precaution, she isn't here either. So it's me. And I have a whole lesson plan for the two of you if you are interested. The lesson is going to be on social justice and following one of our UU principles on social justice. If you are interested in coming to that, that will be, there's like a time for all ages, and then any youth who are participating in RE will come back to our RE room and we'll discuss the story I have. Or you can stay here. Those are the options that I'm giving to kids your age. And welcome. And I forgot to say who I am. I'm Barbara Maloney. I'm the president of the Board of Trustees and also the chair of the RE committee.
Any other announcements? Jeannie, do you have anything? No? You're all set? Okay. Okay. Here are our opening words.
Good morning. Our opening words this morning are for the Jewish High Holy Days, the 10 days of awe, which we are currently in. It's between the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, which started last Sunday night and goes until Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, which is this coming Tuesday evening to Wednesday evening. These words are an excerpt from a poem called Atonement by Romeo Ramira, a radical queer Jew of color that lives in Northampton. Atone, to find the holy inside of you, to own up, to wise up, to rise up to your healing, to your relationships with everything you've dug up. Our peoples and our lands are waiting for you to show up. So show up every day and be in awe of the change you are changing. And our chalice lighting this morning isn't printed in your order of service, but if you know the words, you can say them along as Brita lights our chalice. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. Our opening hymn this morning is number 391 in our gray hymnal, Voice Still and Small. If you would like to rise in body or in spirit, we will sing this together. And let us read together our affirmation of faith. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to end energy to grow. And individuals shall grow. Harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God. You may now be seated. Now is the time, it says meditation, but it's a time for our all ages. I did give some folks some leaves, some autumn leaves. If you didn't get one, there might be one at the back, or you can share with a neighbor if you wish. I have a couple more up here as well. Or you can also look out the window. So take a look at your leaf, your friend's leaf, or all the leaves outside the window. Leaves. What colors do you see? Feel free to say them out loud. Brown, orange, red, maroon, yellow, still a little green, wrinkly, red, black. So unique, so many colors. So many colors are arriving. The leaves are getting ready for the darker days and the cooler nights. They stop making chlorophyll, which makes the leaves green. And then the other colors start to appear. It's sort of like the leaves changing from wearing t-shirts to wearing a flannel. Today and in the coming weeks, check out the fire reds and the bright oranges and the yellow goldenrods, even the purples and browns that nature has given us these gifts. It is time now to sing our young people to religious education. And we'll sing together, Go Now in Peace. Oh, it's number 413. Okay. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
We sounded fabulous. Now is the time in our service when we invite those who wish to come up and share a joy or concern. Or of course, you don't have to say it out loud if you don't wish. And for each joy or concern, we'll light a candle here.
Gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet. Share with you the last bite that I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. when all that I sink in, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly, every heart would understand that love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? We can stand together in our finest hours. We can do anything, yes, anything. Keep believing the power. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Thanks for bringing out the sunshine. Breathing in the crisp autumn air and letting out any stuck, stale air inside our bodies. Breathing deeply and fully releases 70% of the toxins in our body. At your own pace, let's take 3 deep breaths together. Now, as we settle into this sacred time together, because the present is a gift, it is not meant to be saved, it is meant to be savored. These next words are from my friend Batya Levine. We are good. We are flawed. We are the breath of an imperfect God. We are good. We are flawed. We are the breath of an imperfect God. How fitting as the seasons just changed into autumn. Let us delight in the earthly magic of the leaves changing all around us. The colors, and again, that crisp air and that warm autumn sunlight. Happy autumn. My mother reminded me of the Japanese red maple that sits in front of my childhood home. I can show pictures to folks after. The bright red that you can see all the way down the street And when I close my eyes, I can still see it. The magic of waiting for the colors to appear and the awe of how this is even possible. Now, I'm sure that each of you has some bushes or trees that you just wait for those colors to change. These are true colors of the leaves. I would love to pass the mic around and see if there's a few people who would like to share a particular location, the color of the leaves that have changed, or you're getting ready to see change. If there's anyone who would like to share, please raise your hand.
No.
Yeah.
I'll break the ice and get it started. I work in this building 3 times a week, and I love driving past the common and seeing all the trees go from, bright green to various shades of red and orange. And then when the lights go up in December, it's even better.
My favorite time is not autumn, but just beautiful in its own majestic way. But I love when there's the subtlety of different greens in like late May, and you got the whole summer ahead of you too. That's beautiful as well. Like all those different layers of green that kind of go away in the summer. Anyone else?
For me, I have 4 little blueberry bushes, and the edges of them are starting to turn the most marvelous ruddy red, almost the same color as my vest right now. And that's, for me, the end of all of the summer things and the beginning of the next.
Thanks for sharing. If there's anyone on the line that wants to type something in the chat, is that something, Sarah, that they could do?
Leland says, I am in the White Mountains and the colors are gorgeous.
Right. So Lisa says she's in the White Mountains and the colors are gorgeous. Thank you, everyone, for sharing those leaf thoughts. As I was driving here this morning, and I want people to try this out too, I was noticing that the signs on the road, you have like the exit signs, the, bumpy road signs, caution signs, everything, that right now, if you look at those colors on the signs, there's almost this story between the colors of the yellows and the reds and the greens that are reflecting in nature. So it's a cool little I Spy. I think some of you might know this song. You can sing along if you know it with me. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow. Cyndi Lauper, 1986. So we can learn so much from this season of change and hope. The change is going to happen no matter what, and we must embrace this. That we must forgive ourselves from resisting change, even as is a part of nature's ways. And yes, even if this means it's going to get a little colder. And that does mean putting on a flannel or your favorite sweater. That means remembering that staying warm is a privilege, which should be a right for everyone to be warm. That means that we must pray with our actions. We must provide our beloved neighbors as ourselves to be warm. Let us remember to use our vote this November as an action of our faith so that more and more are suffering less and less. I can't imagine not living in an area as vibrant as the colors as we do here. I mean, we even have a name for folks that travel around the globe, near and far, to see colorful leaves. What are they called? Exactly, leaf peepers. And there are online maps where you can track the colors, the color changing, where you can see where everything's at its peak. One example is a website called smokymountains.com. And you can actually put in your information and they'll give you a little scale on, you can look outside, see what the colors are. And so it's like this ongoing changing website that you can really see where the peak colors are. It's pretty cool. smokymountains.com. And it's correct that sometimes I feel like we take this autumn, everyday magic for granted. There's a quote by Albert Camus that says, autumn is the second spring when every leaf is a flower. We must hold the beauty of nature's gifts. At the same time, we are also weeping as the skies and the seas cry from climate change. We have the power to slow down. We have the power to change these actions in our personal, by voting, and our collective community. Voice, still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing. In storm and rain, sorrow and pain, I still remain singing. Mary Oliver writes a passage from her poem, Songs for Autumn. Song for autumn. In the deep fall, don't you imagine the leaves? Think how comfortable it will be to touch the earth instead of the nothingness of air and endless fretlets of wind. And don't you think the trees themselves, especially with mossy, warm caves, begin to think of the bird that will come 6, a dozen, to sleep inside their bodies? And don't you hear the goldenrod whispering goodbye? Beloved, present fall peeps, let us think of the trees, their strong trunks, the deep roots and their branches with colorful leaves that are showing up brighter and brighter each day. Let us have hope that the leaves falling touch the earth softly and will not only nourish the soil, but in turn, nourish all of humanity. Let us, those who have yards, forgive the leaves from falling and the work they cause. Let us welcome this season of awe with the most warm, open hearts so that we can get through these changing times together. I see your true colors shining through. So show up every day. Be in awe of the change you are changing. And let us say, Amen.
Thank you. That was fabulous. It is a beautiful time of year. By the way, one of the reasons I'm from the West Coast, one of the reasons I came out here was to see the late leaves change. Our Unitarian Universalist churches rather are self-supporting, and it's your gifts of time and treasure is what sustains the work of the church. The morning's offering will now be taken and gratefully accepted. And may I ask our new part-time Reverend to help me take the collection, Reverend Steve Wilson, whom you will hear preach later in the year.
And let us say together our extinguishing the chalice words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our final hymn this morning is called Re-Rise, also by my friend Batya Levine, and the words are printed as an insert in your order of worship.
We rise, humbly hearted rise, won't be divided, rise, with spirit to guide us, rise, in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here in a hope. In prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here and we rise. All of the children rise. Elders with wisdom rise. Ancestors surround us, rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here and we rise. Up from the wreckage, rise. With tears and with courage, rise. Fighting for life, we rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here and we rise. Humbly hearted, rise. Won't be divided, rise. With spirit to guide us, rise.
Beloved friends near and far, let us rise.